Hello, my name is Ioannis Dizoglu. In this tutorial we are going to use Visual Basics. We're going to use if statements, else statements and loops. We are going to develop a simple software application which uses two different forms. The first form will be the login screen. Once the password is added correctly, then the user will be able to access the actual software. If the password is incorrect, the user will not be able to access the software. Let's get started. We can go to File, New, Project. We're going to select Visual Basics. We're going to select Windows Phone Application, and we're going to name our app appropriately. So I'm going to call it My Secure App, followed by my name. I'm going to click OK. The files will be created for me. I'm going to change the size of my form. So the original form will be, the first form will be my login screen. I'm going to add a button, a label, text box, and a picture box. With the label selected, I'm going to go to the Properties panel and change the default name to Please add the password below. I'm going to customize the text slightly. I'm going to go to the font on the Properties panel, change the size to 12. I'm going to change the volume for bold to true. Okay, oops, let's go back to the design view. If you double click accidentally an object, just go back to the design view. I'm going to increase the width of my text box. So my label will be renamed appropriately. So with the label selected, I'm going to scroll down to locate the name section, and I'm going to change the name to LBL underscore password. I'm going to select my text box, and I'm going to change the default name to txt underscore password. I'm going to select my button. I'm going to change the default name to btn underscore login. And with the button still selected, I'm going to change the text. I want to change the text here instead of button 1 to read login. I'm going to go to the font and change the value from bold to true. So let's go to the font, bold, let's change the value to true. I'm going to go to my picture box now and increase the size slightly. I'm going to, with the picture box selected, I'm going to scroll down to the name, and I'm going to call it PCB, sorry, underscore login. I'm going to click once on my form. I'm going to change the name to FRM underscore login. I'm going to find the text section and change the default volume instead of form 1 to be My Secure App by my name. Then I need to go to the internet and I'm going to search for icon finder. I'm going to click the first option. I'm going to type here dog. I'm going to click on the free images. I'm going to select that one. Make sure you select the picture which has both PNG as well as icon. I'm going to click once on the PNG. Save as. I'm going to save this on the college. Save it there. And I'm going to click on the icon and save it in the same place. I'm going to minimize my window. With the picture box selected, I'm going to click on the little plus play icon, choose an image. I'm going to select import. I'm going to find the location where I saved the picture. I'm going to double click the picture, click OK. I'm going to change the size mode to stretch image. Now I'm going to select once the phone. I'm going to locate the background image. I'm going to select the phone and I'm going to scroll down to the icon section. I'm going to click on the three dots and double click on the icon. So I've got my icon there. I can go to, with the phone still selected, I'm going to scroll right to the top, change the background color, something different. If I click on the web, I have variety of more colors here. This will do. Now I finished my first form. I'm going to click Save All. I'm going to go now to the project, add a new Windows Phone, and for the name I'm going to type my secure app. I'm going to click Add. So here's my secure app. So my secure app, I'm just going to click and drag a web browser over. For the URL settings, so with the web browser selected, I'm going to go to the properties panel, and for the URL I'm just going to type google.com, press the enter key. Here for the name of my secure app, for the text section, I'm just going to put some spaces, and still with the form selected, I'm going to scroll up or down until I find the icon section. I'm going to click on the three dots, double click on my icon. Right, I have now two forms. So if I increase the height for the Solution Explorer, as you can see here, I've got Form 1. If I double click on Form 1, the actual name of my Form 1 is called FRM Login. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go here and click once, twice, or you can select, right click, rename, and I'm just going to paste FRM underscore login. So with my FRM underscore login, I'm going to double click on the login button, and now I'm going to put the code. Before accidentally I double click on the label, so I'm just going to delete the private sub for the label, so we have our code nice and clean. Okay, here is my BTN login, and within my BTN login I need to put some code. So basically what I need to do is when the end user clicks on this button, the first thing I need to do, check, is if the value of the password is true. So I'm going to create an if statement. So I will say if txt password dot text, which is a text field, is equals to, and I'm going to open brackets, and within speech marks I'm going to say pass123. If that's true, then I want the second form, so my secure, let's stick to good practice here. So I'm gonna go back to my secure app with the form selected. I'm gonna scroll down, go to the name section. I'm just gonna put here FRM underscore, and I'm gonna rename this as well. I'm gonna put FRM underscore. Let's use the Lisinski Riddick name conversion, so everything is nice and clear. So I'm gonna go back to my login page on my code view by double clicking the button. So I will say if the text txt password.text equals this, then I want to show the FRM underscore my secure app dot show, open brackets, close brackets. Now then I would like me dot hide. I want the current form, the login form, to hide, open close brackets. And for security reasons, what we're going to do, we're also going to put txt underscore password dot text. And what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to make sure that these, oops, I need to put an equals now. I need to make sure that once I've logged on, this password, my actual password, will be removed. So basically I'm overwriting my password to nothing. Now if that's my if statement. If the password is incorrect, I want to actually give an alternative, so I'm going to create an else statement. So I'm going to put else, and now I'm going to create a variable. To create a variable, I'm going to put dim, and my variable is wrong text or wrong pass. Let's put as integer, and I'm going to say do until. So I'm going to use the do until loop. So do until wrong pass equals 3. So I've just created the variable, and then basically I'm creating the do until loop, and I will say wrong text equals 3. So the loop will not end unless this particular value for this variable is met. I'm going to press the enter key, and I'm going to create a new if statement. So I will say if wrong pass equals 0. So the first value of a variable, of an integer, the very first number is 0. I will say then wrong pass equals 1. So I'm just going to give 1 point to this variable, and then I'm going to show a message box dot show, and my message box will be the password you have entered is incorrect. Now this is the very first message they're gonna see. I'm still within the loop. Now I'm going to create an else if statement to continue the if statement, because I'm going to put multiple else statements. And in order for me to put multiple else statements, I have to put else if statements. So I'm going to put else if. Let's put some enter here to keep the code nice and clean. So here's we're starting the if statement. So else if wrong pass equals 1, then wrong pass plus equals 1. So we add in another value onto the wrong pass variable. Then we're gonna basically show another message box. I'm just gonna highlight this message box and paste it there. And I'm going to replace the message. I will say, if you can't remember your password, please contact us on, and then you can put your email address. And then we're going to put here another else if statement. So we're going to copy that and paste it there. So now we'll say if wrong pass equals 2 this time, plus equals 1. Now 2 plus 1 is 3, so I'm meeting my argument here. So this will be the final message that people will see. So what I need to type here is, for security reasons, the software will now close. And I need to end. Do I have an end if statement there? Okay, yeah, I've got an end if statement there. So I'm ending my if statement here. Then is my loop, so I'm ending my loop, and now below that I'm going to put me.close. Brackets, close brackets. So let's review the code. Within our button, let's go there, let's remove the extra spaces. Okay, here is my private sub. My private sub, within my private sub, the button login, I've added this code. The first line of code, I'm creating an if statement. This if statement will check if the text box, which is the text field, contains the words pass 1 to 3. If that's correct, then the form FRM My Secure App will show, the current form will hide. And for security reasons, I'm going to overwrite what I've typed before here with nothing, just in case somebody will be able to actually go back and retrieve my password. Then we add in an else statement. So if this value is not true, the else statement will take place. We create a variable called wrong pass, and we apply data type integer. An integer data type can only hold whole numbers. So the number I have specified is 3. Then I'm creating a loop. So I will say do until the wrong pass is equals to 3. Then I'm creating an if statement. If the wrong pass is equals to 0, then wrong pass plus equals 1. Now 0 plus 1 will become 1. The message will show, however, the wrong pass now It's not 0 anymore, it's 1. Then I'm creating an else if statement. The wrong pass is equals 1. So we say else if wrong pass is equals 1. We know that is 1 because we added 1 here. So that this value is true. Then we put wrong pass plus equals 1. So we add in another value to the first value. So our wrong text now becomes 2. Then we display message box. Then finally we put another else if statement. Else if wrong pass equals 2. Yes, we know the wrong pass is equals to 2 because here was 0 and we gave 1, so it's 1. Was 1, then we add another one, is 2. So now we know that the wrong text is 2. Then we add in another value there, which means that the wrong text now is not 2 anymore, it's 3. And because it is 3, once the message box will show, we have met the do until loop, because the wrong pass equals 3, which means the loop will end and the next line of code will be executed, which is me.close. So the software will close. Let's test it. I'm going to click start. I'm going to minimize this. So here's my software. I'm going to just type something here. I'm going to click login. Obviously I did not put the correct password. The password you have entered is incorrect. I'm going to click OK. If you can't remember your password, please contact us on click OK. For security reasons, the software will now close. I'm going to click OK, so my software has closed. If I run the software now again and I put the correct password, so my correct password is pass123. Let's minimize this. I'm going to click login. My software shows, my secure app shows, and the login page disappears. I hope you've learned something new today. Thank you for watching.